Well, all we know about this attack in Chaplyne in eastern Ukraine near to Dnipro is that indeed a missile hit a train in a station and hit some carriages that had passengers inside. According to the first informations, well, at least 5 people died burnt in a car, and an 11-year-old teenager was killed. The global amount of killed is 22. President Zelensky, who learnt this information as he was about to take the stand at the UN, said that indeed 50 people were wounded and search and rescue operations are still ongoing.
Well, the United States military says it carried out airstrikes in Syria against facilities used by groups affiliated with Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps. The strikes come even as the U.S. aims to respond to a draft agreement proposed by the European Union that would bring back the 2015 nuclear deal with Iran. The military's Central Command said in a statement that such strikes were aimed at protecting U.S. forces from an attack by Iran-backed groups, and that the president himself gave the direction for these strikes. There was no mention whether there were any casualties or whether the strikes were carried out by manned or unmanned aircraft.
A cruise ship has rescued 6 Cuban migrants stranded at sea on a makeshift raft. This video appears to show them using pot lids to paddle towards the ship, which was bound for Mexico. An eyewitness said that the raft looked like a piece of furniture, possibly a cabinet.
Well, the crew passengers said that according to the captain, after the 6 migrants were rescued, that the captain announced to the passengers that they were dehydrated, but otherwise fine. And then we know from representatives of this cruise lines, Carnival Cruise Lines, that they were given food and water and clothing, and that they were then turned over to Mexican officials, immigration officials, when the ship arrived in Mexico.
The Ethiopian army announced Wednesday that it had shot down a plane loaded with weapons destined for the Tigray rebels, which had violated Ethiopian airspace after flying over Sudan. United Nations Chief Antonio Guterres has given his reaction to the latest development.
I am deeply shocked and saddened by the news of the resumption of hostilities in Ethiopia.
No information was given concerning the origin of the aircraft or the date on which it was shot down. Fighting resumed in border areas of the Tigray region, with Tigrayan rebels and the federal government blaming each other for breaking a 5-month truce.
Tonight, embattled Uvalde School District Police Chief Pete Arredondo has been fired. After intense public debate, the school board made official what some parents have been demanding for months.
Turn in your badge and step down. You don't deserve to wear one.
Arredondo had been on administrative leave after the May 24th shooting at Robb Elementary that took the lives of 19 children and 2 teachers.
Tell them to wait.
The shooter locked himself in 2 adjoining classrooms with the victims. 376 law enforcement officers were dispatched to the scene. But authorities didn't break through the door and engage the shooter for 77 minutes, that long gap drawing intense scrutiny.
Authorities in Myanmar have detained Britain's former ambassador to the Southeast Asian nation, where a military junta seized power last year. Vicky Bowman, who currently runs the Myanmar Centre for Responsible Business, was detained on Wednesday, along with her husband, and charged with immigration offences. Her husband, Ten Lin, is one of Myanmar's most famous artists and a veteran activist who was previously imprisoned for his opposition to an earlier junta.
Well, there has been no official confirmation that, in fact, this arrest has taken place. We have put questions to the military regime in Yangon, but we have not heard back. There's been no information forthcoming.
Runaway inflation, hundreds of thousands of jobs lost, and a sharp increase in the cost of living have brought thousands of South Africans onto the streets. They want the government to address a number of issues, from pay rises to a stable electricity supply. The poorly performing economy has been worsened by the knock-on effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, and inflation is at a 13-year high. While the government has implemented an unemployment grant at $20 a month, it's simply not enough, and more than a third of the population is unemployed. Organizers had hoped for a nationwide shutdown to bring the economy to a halt. While a few thousand have come out to the streets, many others haven't.